Hello, it's me.
Hey guys, it's me Aditya, and I welcome you all to another episode of the Funny Podcast. Very bizarre, very real. Yep, I've been a little late when it comes to the frequency of the podcast that we are doing, but we are almost at the end of the season. And I once again thank India Film Project and Anchor by Spotify to host the brilliant podcast lab, with the support of which this entire season was made. I hope you've been enjoying it till now, and today I am gonna give you an insight, a peek into something that is a very fond memory of me because it dates back to a time where there was no Geo, and we did keep a tab on how much we spoke on the phone. Because, I mean, to a certain extent, it was like 1 rupee per minute. Then Tata Docomo came in and made it 60 paisa per minute, which basically meant 1 paisa per second. That was the cheapest we thought calls could ever be, because I'm a person who talks on the phone only on a need to know basis. I do not blabber a lot. So when I call someone, I talk to them straight away, go to the point, get an answer, say okay and bye. I don't know if there is an app or something that can tell my phone's average call duration, but it will never be more than 20 seconds because that is how much I speak. I don't talk to people much, and for me, Tata Docomo came up with a revolution because I was paying for every single second that I am spending. So unnecessarily 1 rupiah nahi cut raha. And then I had this particular situation, which is why even that 1 paisa per second turned out to be a little expensive for me, because I had no choice. It was an inevitable incident that used to occur very frequently in my life. What I'm talking about is exams. Now, exams were a time when someone like me, who prefers to sit at the back bench, who prefers to sleep during chemistry class, I still don't know why, but every time that woman spoke, I fell asleep. Never have I mentally attended an entire class of hers. Not that she was a bad teacher, everyone else liked her, but for some reason I used to fall asleep. And for someone like me who falls asleep during class, you can imagine how an exam would go for me, because I knew jack shit. And what was I supposed to do? I can't tell my parents that I fell asleep during this class, because that is one of the things that a juvenile person thought was cool. Like, look at that dude just sleeping in the middle of the class while everyone else is awake, and they all look at me, and the teacher looks at me, and the teacher asks the front bencher that, is he someone who sleeps in all classes or just yours? And the front bencher, being a stupid person, they are toppers, but they were so stupid that they actually genuinely confessed that it's only her class where I slept. But that woman was really nice. She never got pissed. And I still remember her. I think her name was Sangeeta something. But she never fucking scolded me once. And I'm again getting off track, but yeah, I have massive respect for her, because now I am a teacher, and I feel like if someone falls asleep during my class, I would really flip out. Although sometimes I fall asleep. Like, yeah, I half time I'm a little drowsy, half the time I'm quite drowsy while taking a class, but I do it. Anyway, when exams came in, the 1 paisa thing did not work for me, because I had the entire syllabus to catch up. And I had no idea, because I mean, I can't call up and ask a backbencher to sit with me and study because they are also like me. I can't ask most of the front benchers because, I mean, why would they help me learn something while they can revise the syllabus for the seventh time that day? But I had one guardian angel who was one of the finest teachers I had. His name is Piyush. Piyush works at a particularly sexy bank, and he says his work has improvised over the last 1 year, so that's a good thing. But yeah, he works in a really sexy bank, earns a lot. Falana Dhimaka. Obviously, he deserves it because he had to go through the torture of teaching me every single topic from the syllabus. Like, I used to call Piyush, and Piyush never turned down. He never hung up on me. He just picked up the call and straight away asked, "Pooch kya poochna hai?" And now that I think about it, maybe he was just being sarcastic, but I used to ask him what I had to ask. And these conversations like went on for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, where he used to explain me. Like, now when someone talks about law of conservation of momentum and tells me about the fact that if you have one ball that hits another ball, the first ball stops and the second ball goes, because I play a little pool, it makes sense in my head. But back then, no matter what, I could not memorize law of conservation of momentum because it took 3 pages for me to prove that. And I hated those questions where you had to deduce an equation. But Piyush always found an easier way to understand and, make me feel like, okay, I can pass this exam. Today, if I am working, if I am employable, it's because of Piyush. And it has happened on multiple occasions. He has helped me with physics, chemistry, till 10th standard math. That's it. I mean, बाकी तो ह्यूमैनिटीज़ वाले सब्जेक्ट थे, तो मैं खुद को एम्बैरस नहीं करना चाहता था वो चीज़ें पूछ के. बट एनीवे, पीयूष हेल्प मी अ लॉट एंड ही वॉज वेरी पेशेंट, ही वॉज वेरी काइंड. तो जब भी फ़ोन होता था, आई यूज टू कॉल हिम अप एंड get my doubts cleared. When my mom used to hear this, she was like, okay, पढ़ाई की बात हो रही है. तो she went away. She did not ask me किससे बात कर रहा है, कल एग्जाम है. She used to just go away. 10 minutes later she came back. I'm still on the phone. I'm throwing a few words here and there which are related to my education. तो मेरी माँ वापस चली गई. तीसरी बार जब आती है तो 30 मिनट हो चुके हैं, मैं फ़ोन पर बात कर रहा हूँ. अब तो मेरी माँ ने भी बोल दिया कि इतनी पढ़ाई अगर फ़ोन पे करनी है तो हम स्कूल में फीस क्यों भर रहे हैं, फ़ोन पे ही पढ़ लेता पूरा. एंड दैट इज़ व्हेन शी स्नैप्ड एंड शी स्टार्टेड येलिंग कि हो गया तेरा. बिकॉज मेरा फ़ोन वॉज ऑलवेज कन्फिस्केटेड ड्यूरिंग एग्जाम्स, क्योंकि मैं लड़कीबाजी में बहुत बिजी रहता था. तो जस्ट सो दैट आई अवॉइड टॉकिंग टू गर्ल्स, my parents used to take away my phone. And maybe that's why I'm single now, because मैंने शायद अपना कोटा पहले ही पूरा कर लिया है. So now I used to call Piyush from my mom's number, and Piyush को भी मेरी माँ का नंबर रटा गया है. And it's not that difficult because my mom's been using the same number since 2007. I am also using one of the numbers since 2007, but yeah. तो पीयूष को मेरी मम्मी का नंबर रटा हुआ था, तो एवरी टाइम आई कॉल्ड ही यूज्ड टू से हाँ बोल, बट उसके बोलने में भी ना थोड़ा सा पोलाइटनेस था, बिकॉज ही नेवर न्यू कि वॉज इट माई मदर और वॉज इट हिम. बिकॉज माई मॉम वॉज अ वेरी विजिलेंट पर्सन. वो देखती थी कि कॉल हिस्ट्री में कौन है, एंड मैं नंबर सेव नहीं करता बिकॉज देन दे विल हैव एक्सेस टू माई फ्रेंड्स. लाइक टिल डेट my parents don't know who are the 5 other people that I live with. They have none of my friends' numbers. I just gave them one recently because of my health issues, but uske alawa they have no one to contact if I am missing in action. तो मेरी माँ नंबर चेक करती थी, एंड नंबर चेक करके शी समटाइम्स यूज टू कॉल कि दूसरे साइड पे उठाता कौन है. सो फॉर दैट पर्पज पीयूष यूज टू बी वेरी विजिलेंट एंड ही यूज टू बी अ लिटिल पोलाइट. नहीं तो मतलब हम सारे ही ऐसे थे कि मतलब मैं उसको फ़ोन करता था फॉर हेल्प, बट माई गो टू ग्रीटिंग वॉज मादर चौथ फ्री है क्या. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, उस ये बोलने के बाद भी वो मेरी हेल्प करता था, सो दैट्स अ बिग डील. तो पीयूष वॉज दिस वन पर्सन जिसको मतलब हमेशा मैंने फ़ोन किया है फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ समझने के लिए. एंड काफ़ी मतलब आई इवन थॉट दैट मैं कॉलेज जाऊंगा तो कॉलेज में भी शायद पीयूष ही मेरी हेल्प करेगा, बिकॉज मेरे दिमाग में कोई और आता है नहीं. That is one of the reasons why it's been 10 years since I passed 10th standard, and I still remember this. I still remember because 30 मिनट के बाद तो मेरी माँ आके मेरे पे चिल्लाती थी, दो रीजंस के लिए. कि एक, उस मेरी मम्मी को शक होता था कि मैं लड़की से बात कर रहा हूँ, और दूसरा ये कि तब टॉप अप कराना पड़ता था. तो हर तीसरे दिन अगर 200 रुपये का टॉप अप हो रहा है तो इट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग. आज के टाइम पे लोगों को इसका दर्द नहीं पता है, तो बहुत लोगों को इसका दर्द नहीं पता, क्योंकि यार ये टॉपअप वाली चीज़ ना तुम्हें नहीं पता. यू आइदर हैव टू बाय अ कूपन, फिर उसमें या तो तुम सिक्का या तो नाखून रगड़ोगे या तो चाबी रगड़ोगे, सो दैट अ कोड कम्स अप, एंड देन उस कोड को डाल के यू गेट योर सेल्फ टॉपअप. या फिर तुम्हें किसी दुकान पे जाके टॉपअप कराना पड़ेगा, एंड ही आस्क यू कि हाँ अभी 2 दिन पहले ही तो 200 रुपये का कराया था. So in any way, cell phones back then were a bane and a boon, because यार मेरे पास जवाब नहीं होता था ना. एंड व्हेन आई यूज टू कॉल माय गर्लफ्रेंड, एक्चुअली में आई हैड टू गो, लाइक आई यूज टू लिव इन एन अपार्टमेंट, तो मैं छत पे जाके कॉल करता था. एंड नीचे उतरने से पहले अगर मैंने गलती से कॉल हिस्ट्री में से वो नंबर डिलीट नहीं किया तो दिक्कत हो जाती. सो हाफ द टाइम माई मॉम थॉट पीयूष वॉज माई गर्लफ्रेंड, बिकॉज इतनी बात कोई किसी लौंडे से क्यों करेगा. मतलब इतनी सारी बातें 30-30 मिनट. इसीलिए मैं आज ये बोल रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरी माँ को भी पता रहना चाहिए कि लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम मैं आज भी पेपर पे प्रूफ नहीं कर सकता. आई अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट, बट दैट इज इट. वो 3 पेज का डेरिवेशन उस साल के साथ दफन हो चुका है, बट मैंने जो भी लिखा है रट रुटा के घिस घिसा के, वो सब इसीलिए क्योंकि मैं लड़की से बात नहीं कर रहा था, मैं पीयूष से बात कर रहा था. सो टूडेज एपिसोड वॉज एन ओड टू पीयूष फॉर बीइंग अ ग्रेट टीचर, एंड ऑल्सो टू मिस्टर मुकेश अंबानी टू मेकिंग आवर लाइव्स ईजियर विद जियो. ऑल्दो मेरे घर के अंदर नेटवर्क थोड़ा दिक्कत होता है, बट संभाल लेंगे, उसमें इतना मैनेजेबल है. So that was all from my side for today. I'll be back soon with the last episode of the second season of the Funny Podcast. Once again, this particular podcast is being created with support from Anchor by Spotify and the India Film Project's Podcast Lab. Great cohort. Do check them out. I mean, there are like hundreds of podcasters creating new episodes every week. So you won't get bored anywhere. That will be all from my side. Thank you so much. Stay tuned and stay safe. Bye bye.